Hey guys, Cecil here once again. Hey, in today's video I wanted to talk about one of my, favorite handhelds that's out there right now, and that's the PSP. And I think by now everyone's familiar that the PSP is pretty much kind of on its way out. The Vita's out now. It's been out for a few months, and it seems like a lot of development is going to start shifting towards that. But let's not forget the original Sony handheld here. Even though there's not been a whole lot been coming out for it recently, there's actually 4 really good RPGs that I think are definitely worth checking out if you're looking to dust off your old PSP and play something new, or if you got a Vita and you want to check out something new to tide you over till some of the better games come out. So I'm going to just touch on a few games that I've noticed that are out and are going to be coming out very soon. The first game that came out about, I would say 6 weeks ago in early June, it's a strategy RPG from Sting called Gungner. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I might be mutilating the actual pronunciation. But anyways, this is a really, really good strategy RPG in the same vein as Final Fantasy Tactics. Very anime-esque, but really good voice acting. Definitely a great RPG that I've enjoyed so far for about the 10 hours I put into it so far. If you're really into strategy and tactical RPGs, definitely check this one out, especially if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics. It is an Atlas title, so I'm sure there's probably not going to be a whole lot of these ever made. Knowing Atlas, they'll do 1, maybe 2 print runs, and that'll be it. And there's not been a whole lot of physical releases of PSP games in recent months. A lot of it's just been purely on the PSN. So if you find this at your local game store, and you're into strategy RPGs, check that one out. There's another RPG that came out a few weeks ago from Xseed called Unchained Blades. It's another JRPG, but it's more in the line of a first-person dungeon crawler, maybe similar to the original Phantasy Star. The bit of play I've tried and a bit of the videos I've seen of it, it looks pretty interesting. Very, very beautifully animated cutscenes. The voice acting, from what I've seen so far, seems pretty cool. I'm always a big fan of I love the original Phantasy Star, and just the way it really pushed the Master System, and this game, just the way you move around the environment, it just reminds me so much of it. And I'm definitely gonna pick up the full game here pretty soon. I think it was $29.99 when it came out. So if you're looking for an interesting turn-based first-person dungeon crawler RPG, definitely give a look at Unchained Blades. There's some gameplay videos of it on YouTube, so definitely check that out. Another game that's going to be coming out in about a week or so at the end of July that I'm really looking forward to. This is out of all the games I'm probably looking forward to the most, and that's Growlancer 4 Wayfarer of Time. It's going to be another physical PSP release. Now, for those of you really unfamiliar with the Growlancer series, they're kind of tactical RPGs. Similar, they're kind of strategy-esque, but they're more free-roaming. They're not the grid-based. But the animation and that the games utilize is very unique. I forget the artist who's done all the games. There's been 6 in the game series so far. This is the box set that Working Designs put out back in 2004. This was one of their last releases they put out before they unfortunately went under. And this contains Growlancer 2 and 3. And I just remember having a lot of fun with these games, playing them on the PS2. Just very, very fun, turn-based and tactical style RPGs. The 1 and 4 is going to be more real time. It's not going to be turn-based so much. But the videos I've seen of it, and just the fact that we've barely gotten any of these games in the U.S. To date. There's been 6 in the series. We've got 2 and 3 in this box set, and then I know, I think it was 2006, Atlas brought out Growlancer 5. I think it was called Heritage of War. So this is the first time we're going to be getting Growlancer 4 in the U.S., which is going to be awesome. And the gameplay videos I've seen of it so far have me, really excited to check that one out. And that's going to be one of the last really major physical PSP releases. So again, it's another Atlas published title, and if you're familiar with how they publish their games, they usually do not print a whole lot of their particular titles, and especially on these PSP games that probably not a whole lot of people have been paying attention to. There's probably not going to be a whole lot made. They might be a little bit tougher to track down if you wait too long. So if you're interested in any of those, either that Gugner or the Growlancer 4 Wayfarer of Time, definitely get a chance. Go pre-order it or pick it up when you see it. I think it comes out July 31st, so definitely do that. And there's one other kind of interesting RPG that for the PSP coming out in September. Now, this one isn't coming out in the US, it's strictly coming out in Japan, and it's Final Fantasy III, a port of the DS remake that we got back several years ago on the PS or on the original DS, and this is basically a remake of the Famicom version, and the PSP version of this is going to be a port of the DS version. Now, why am I mentioning an import game? What I learned that was actually pretty cool is the fact that they're going to put an English language mode in the PSP port. Now, I've not really played into this game too much. I know it utilizes a job system. The little bit I played seems pretty cool. And yeah, I haven't. I wish I would have had a chance to get into this one a little bit more. A lot of my friends said it was pretty good. It was probably the best of the pre-Famicom Final Fantasies. So I'm probably going to pick up that PSP one just for the enhanced graphics and everything. And I wish, you know, companies would do that a lot more, is actually give us, you know, RPGs and import them on region-free systems like the PSP, which is great, and actually include an English language mode. Because this game, it wouldn't shock me if we never saw, you know, Final Fantasy III for the PSP ever get released in the US, at least maybe not in the physical form. That could maybe potentially see them putting it on the PSN at some point, but that might definitely be a game worth checking out in September. I believe NCSX is doing pre-orders on that one. So yeah, there's a few games that have come out and will be coming out very soon that, you know, you might want to get a few more miles out of that old PSP of yours, because I've got to admit, maybe when this system first came out, there wasn't a whole lot on it, but over the years, there's been some fantastic stuff that's been put on it, and there's way more to play on this right now than there is the Vita. Not knocking the Vita at all, but I mean, I haven't had anything really worth playing since Gravity Rush and Metal Gear came out in June, and there's not going to really be much until probably, you know, October, November, when like Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Ops Declassified and a couple other games like Little Big Planet drops. So there's some games I definitely think if you're into JRPGs especially, and you want to play some new stuff on your PSP, or you got a Vita and you want something new to try, check out some of these games, especially if you're a fan of JRPGs. I definitely think they're worth your time looking into. Otherwise, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you next time.